All right, so last week we went over camera prodding, something that I love, you know, getting that person's face to where I want it. But I've given you all sorts of tips on how to do this. There's a number of them, and how are you gonna choose what you're gonna use? You know what you're gonna do? You're gonna practice them all and you're gonna figure out what works best for you. I do it in a sequence, and usually the prodding is not at the beginning. I won't camera prod somebody until they've been in there. They're more like they're not a chain, they're not a rope, they're not a thread, they're like a string maybe, but I'll start to get them going. But how I get them there in the beginning is either suction cup to the face, tilt this way, and I explain. Imagine you've got my hand suction cup to your face like this. I'm gonna tilt you like that. I'll explain it if I need to. The karate chop to the face is really another one that I've been using more often to get the angles. But the problem is that it's hard to get the nose to where you want it to go when you're karate chopping. So I go follow my finger with your nose. And then once I get them there, then I karate chop it to give them the tilt. As the shoot progresses, that's when you're camera prodding. They'll understand that you want their nose over. It feels a little weird to be way over here and looking back at the camera. It's not as natural. So once they get used to that, then you add the camera prod. You're gonna layer this stuff in as it works for you. It's also what feels right. It's about making it easy on you, but working it into your system. So if you like the karate chop to the face better than the suction cup, then you use the karate chop to the face. If you think nose to the finger works better than camera prodding, then do that. If you think the camera prod's good, go nuts with it. But you're layering them all in to get them where you want. And it's all in that section of the Hurley headshot system where you're positioning the head. This is all head position. The body's already done. This is not body, this is all head position. And that's pretty much all that I do. I mean, it's repetitive and it's getting in a flow. It also has to work well with the way you're focusing. I use one focus point on auto, and I hit the front eye with it and go back down. So I'm using that. Once I get the headset, then I'm going, let's say the camera, I'm repositioning, I'm going like this all the time. So for me, the camera prod is nose this way a little bit, and then boom, recompose and then shoot. That's the way I'm doing it. If I'm manual focusing, then I'm not moving the camera as much, which is nice, but I'll keep my ball head loose, and I could camera prod, or I could do nose to the finger and then back to here, tilt, 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 karate chop, tilt, suction cup, nose this way, nose over here, back over this way. All that stuff is to expedite your process to getting to the shot without them having to think too much, so you're actively engaging their brain to get their expression to relax, so they're not thinking about their expression. The more you move somebody, the less that we can multitask as human beings, but we can't do a million things at once. So the more you move them, the less thought they're gonna have about their expression or their face. So I move them all the time. I like them to move from shot to shot. As they get better, they're gonna be more on their own. You might say, hey, every time I take a picture, I want you to move a little bit now that you got this. Hit your angle, hit your good side, give me a little bit of an angle. Once you find that angle, I'll be like karate chopping, and I'll be like just a little bit this way, right there, freeze. That's the angle. Because I saw a highlight on their jawline at that angle, because their nose shape went to a sharper angle on their nose on that angle. A lot of times I'm looking at cheeks, I'm looking at highlights of the jawline and stuff like that. And that's why I'm putting them exactly where I need them. The camera prod and all that stuff is just if I know that they're good sides this side and I don't need them perfectly anywhere on that side, I'll just say, get your nose over there. Move this way, tilt, tilt, tilt. They can get the tilt with the camera. Tilt it, tilt, freeze right there, go back an inch. You over tilt it, tilt a little bit less. You know, or you give them, you know, obviously you can go misdirection with them. I like the tilt this way, but more like you're tilting it towards the, I've been using this a lot. More like you're tilting it towards the Canadian border. And they're like, and then boom, you get your laughter, you shoot, you liven them up, you keep it live the whole time. But the camera prodding's fun because you're just like this the whole time. So that's basically 3 things that you're implementing to get them to move. Verbally is the first one, I guess, so we can count that. You verbally tell them, you know, a lot of times I'll be like, the windows are to the north. I'll be like, narrow the distance between your nose and the windows. Now that's like, it's a little strange, but they'll do it. So verbally you can tell them, I like to tell them in a strange way to do that. You know, nose to the window, and then I'll do a tilt, and then I'll compose and shoot it. And sometimes it's just faster prodding them towards the window. So these all work for me. I'm learning. Look, I didn't camera prod till, I don't know, a couple months ago. I started doing it. I like it. It works. I implement it into what I do. It doesn't work for you, don't do it. You're going to figure out stuff that works for you. But these types of things will pop in your brain. If you're paying attention to what you're doing, you're going to figure out your flow behind this thing. It's all based on confidence, the way you talk to them, and what you do to get them where you need them to be to get the shot. You always got to get the shot, guys, right? So there, we got two little tips for you. Last week was just camera prodding. This week it's layering in what's best for you. So first, verbally telling them where to move their head is one. I always start there because that's normal for people. Turn your head to the left, turn your head to the right, chin up, chin down, that kind of thing. But then then you're gonna go to the next level. You're gonna either tell them suction cup to the face or karate chop, nose to the finger, and then camera prod. You can tell them, look, I'll just go like this, and that's the way I want you to move. If they don't get it, I normally don't tell them. I've never said to a client, hey, I'm gonna camera prod you right now. I've never said that. I'd be like, look, if I point the camera this way, just go nose that way. Come on, tilt this way. I don't like shooting the same frame every time. I like to move people for a couple reasons. One, it doesn't make my shoot look so boring. I don't like taking the same shot over and over again. If they change their expression, it's fine. But if they don't change anything in the frame, it's ridiculous. So getting them to move from shot to shot to shot is important, not only to get your shoot looking more interesting, it's also to keep their mind churning and away from them thinking about their face. So body movement is key, and they'll listen to you if they know that obviously you've already gotten their chin out at this point. They're learning about if you turn them to the side, you're gonna tilt them their angle. You might throw in an Egyptian on them. You know, you're doing all that, but you're moving them each time. You're keeping rhythm, you're keeping flow, you're getting them on the angles you want. You're doing all of the above. And it's imperative. Now your shoot looks interesting. They're believing in you. They think that you found this sweet spot on their face that's just amazing, that they're gonna walk around for the rest of their life and every picture can go like this, you know, they're gonna be on it. Key, get them there each time, but make sure they understand that the subtlety, if they move their nose from here, this angle, to this angle, it's enormous. It's like, it's huge for us. So use all these techniques, layer them in, figure them out, figure out what works for you, and make your client understand that these little tiny angle movements are it. So those are the things I want you to layer in. Practice, get it done.
Guys, if you like this video, you're absolutely gonna love what I have going on over at the Headshot Crew. It's an absolute smorgasbord of material just like this that I've been working on for the last 10 years. So click the link below, check it out, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel. I got stuff coming out just for you.